Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of The Push with Nick and KP. We are back once again to bring you a weekly recap of Monday Night Raw. This on the episode of January 5th, 2026, for the very first Raw of 2026 and celebrating the 1 year on Netflix. We bring you a recap of the Stranger Things themed episode from Brooklyn, New York. We waste a little time tonight. Almost feels kind of like an NXT show where we just get right into the action. We start off the show with a Rhea Ripley and Io Sky going up against Asuka and Kairi Sane of the Kabuki Warriors for those women's tag team championships. This one's an extremely hard-hitting back-and-forth contest, and no woman looks weak here. The ending coming with Asuka eating a riptide and an over-the-moon salt from Rhea and Io, landing us new women's tag team champions to kick off the night. And I thought this was a great way to start the show and have the crowd eating out of their hands. I felt the Kabuki Warriors were great champions, but goodness did that tag division get built into one of the best divisions in WWE, and so quickly as well. So it was only a matter of time before the Kabuki Warriors were going to lose those straps, and it'll be pretty tough to get those titles off Rio. But as previously mentioned, there is plenty of competition in that division. But yeah, that this was a great way to kick off Raw. Obviously, you kick it off with a title match in a weekly episode. Not something we see very often, but we'll absolutely take it when we can get it, especially on a bigger show kind of built like this. We then see Gunther headed to the ring after being encouraged by Adam Pearce to use a little more respect when he addresses the WWE Universe, and of course those previously mentioned that he has defeated, to which Gunther simply scoffs at. Gunther isn't able to get much out before he's interrupted by the phenomenal one AJ Styles. Gunther returns the favor and consistently and constantly interrupts AJ as he tries to talk in the ring. This segment ends with AJ slapping the taste out of the ring general's mouth, and tempers are clearly flared, but Gunther doesn't do a thing. AJ simply says, "That's what I thought." Not a big fan of this. Why would Gunther allow himself to get walked all over? It's a questionable decision. And we then see Gunther backstage telling Pearce he wants AJ next week, to which Adam says it's official. But I think the matchup itself will be great, but to allow to Gunther to not have any rebuttal there, I think is a not a decision I am too fond of. Next match of the evening, which is another title match, this time having Becky Lynch going up against Maxine Dupree, defending her Women's Intercontinental Championship. Obviously, we all know all about this rivalry. Becky has gone a bit crazy for this IC title, winning it back, calling all of this, a mistake and a conspiracy and all of that kind of jazz. But Maxine makes a few mistakes throughout this match. The match is good enough, but I feel like that really did kind of bring it down a bit, at least in my eyes. I keep having to remind myself, although she's making great strides in the ring, she is still very green, and she'll get there. But meanwhile, the ending comes with Maxine having an ankle lock locked in, but Becky has the ropes to help keep her Maxine pinned down while she's trying to maximize the torque of that ankle lock. And just like that, Becky Lynch is your new and once again Women's Intercontinental Champion. So I thought that was a pretty strange ending. A bit strange to kind of the way they go about it. But alas, I guess this is a Stranger Things themed episode, so I doubt that was the case or intentional. But no issues with me putting the title back on Lynch. Obviously, this is the second title change of the evening, and I think Maxine will get her time. This was a nice little test run, but it is clear, at least in my eyes, that she still is quite green. But continue to give her time, and I think she will eventually hit that spot. But no issues with me having the title back on the man. The second half of Raw kicks off with the Usos coming out with those new tag team titles to declare 2026 the year of the Usos, and if anyone wants a shot, they know exactly where to find them. So hopefully this is going to be a sign of things to come for them, maybe fighting champions as we all tend to like. So no issues with that there. Jay clearly kind of having more fun, and Jimmy especially. It always seems to be having the time of his life. So I imagine their reign will be a good one, and I imagine we'll see quite a few successful defenses before they drop those straps. The next segment, we see Stephanie Vaquer making her way to the ring, and red alarms are kind of going off in my head as Vaquer is seen in a walking boot, to which commentary team says she obtained last week in that triple threat match. Jackie Redmond is waiting to interview her and ask her what now. Vaquer responds by saying 2025 she accomplished her dream by becoming Women's World Champion, and that this injury would not stop her in 2026. But someone that might ambushes her from behind. Raquel Rodriguez, after targeting that injured ankle, hits Vaquer with a Tejada bomb. Raquel then grabs a chair to further injure Vaquer, but gets interrupted by officials. So, unless this is your first time listening to The Push, you know that I very much like this segment. You have Raquel set up as a big heel now. You've kind of been doing that, capitalizing on a power game, and now kind of doing heel tactics such as this. I think is a great move. Deservingly so. She's made great strides in 2025, and a new heel for Vaquer is just what the doctor ordered. Some much needed heat for Raquel, and I can't wait to see what comes next. Raquel once again attacks Vaquer in the back as she's seen limping around, kind of being helped by officials, and Rodriguez is then chased off by officials and Pierce, but some more damage obviously inflicted on Vaquer, who is clearly struggling. Rodriguez clearly enjoyed every minute of all this, perhaps frustrated by her opportunities getting squandered over the last few opportunities. So you can kind of understand where she's coming from, but regardless, I have high hopes, if that's not already obvious, for Raquel to continue her singles run, if you will, trying to get some singles gold at least. We then have our next match of the evening, which is Lyra Valkyria with Bayley going up against Liv Morgan with Roxanne Perez of the Judgment Day. As announced by the commentary team, Liv's first singles match in almost 7 months. This is a really good match, technically sound and really hard hitting. A bit longer, and I think we have a certified banger on our hands here. But both women take quite a beating here. Per usual, though, the Judgment Day doing Judgment Day things to get the advantage over Lyra. Bayley ends up chasing Roxy backstage after a quick scuffle outside of the ring, and this provides just enough of a distraction to allow Liv to hit that Oblivion on Lyra to get the win. We then get into the main event, which has Braun Breaker with Paul Heyman going up against CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship. This match got some time as well and had some good back and forth until, similar to the last match, the Vision doing Vision things. Heyman kicks it off by distracting Punk, and then the rest of the Vision gets involved. That has Theory landing a stomp, but Punk kicks out at 2 once the ref is thrown back in the ring. A bit telegraphed here, but a few well-known luchadors do help chase off the rest of the Vision, while Braun then misses a spear and Punk hits a GTS, but Braun kicks out at 2. Punk then calls for another GTS, but Breaker reverses into an armbar, which Punk then reverses into an Anaconda Vice. Breaker then calls for his own GTS, but Punk reverses that into an STF, but Breaker is still able to withstand the punishment and crawl to the ropes. Heyman then comes back into play again, and Punk grabs the Oracle and knocks him straight off his butt, off the ring apron there, side of the ring apron there, and the crowd is now on their feet, chanting, "Chants of this is awesome" can be heard throughout. Punk is then sitting on that announce table that Brownson earlier cleaned off, and Braun lands on him from the top of the ring ropes to break through the table. Braun then brings him back into the ring to finish the job with a spear, but Punk gets his knee up, and this is enough to get that second GTS, and still your World Heavyweight Champion is CM Punk. And I thought this was a fantastic match. Incredible main event. Had the first 2 titles not resulted in changed hands, I would have been more confident that Breaker's time was going to be now, but it felt unlikely that they would crown 3 new champions in a single night. At least that's kind of where my head was at, but it was pretty shocking to me that we even got 2. So with that, that is our Raw recap there. I felt like our first episode of 2026 was a pretty good one. Obviously had a pretty stacked highlighted matchups that were going to take place, preview, if you will. And so I think it kind of lived up to it. I thought this was a really, really fun episode and absolutely nonstop. Obviously, we got 2 new champions, and that of Rhea and Io winning the tag team gold, and then, of course, Becky Lynch winning back her IC championship. just a quick disclaimer: I've only seen the first season of Stranger Things. I thought it was great, but obviously that was 10 years ago. Obviously, you hear about bits and pieces throughout the grapevine, but I don't really have much more knowledge on that. But I just thought it was kind of a cool themed episode, and I thought it didn't add a ton to the show, but it added something to make it feel a little different, a little special. So I liked all of that. And obviously now I kind of have the hankering after hearing that theme song all night to finish it now. That was always kind of my goal, was once it ended completely, I would go back and binge it. So a nice reminder I thought this episode did provide. And on the wrestling side of it, we, on top of all that, we got an incredible main event along with those two new champions. So if you're asking me, I'd give this an episode of 9.5 out of 10. But enough about me. What did you all think of this episode? What were your highlights, and maybe something you didn't like of this from this episode? Please let us know in the comments below. As always, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, as it helps us out tremendously. And we'll be back shortly with that NXT New Year's Evil tonight. We'll be back with that recap for you very, very soon, as well as continuing our WrestleMania project. But for now, this has been the latest episode of The Push with Nick and KP. Until next time, we'll see you soon. Take care.